For over 20 years, my family, like so many of you, has proudly been part of Broncos country. Every season, we feel the energy, passion, and commitment that defines this team.
And now we are honored to be the official injury law firm partner of the Denver Broncos.
Ramos Law. What makes us different makes us better.
Crew, it's Friday. Welcome to it. I am Chief Meteorologist Matt Meister. You are here on Peaks to Plains Weather. We call this Mornings with Meister every Monday through Friday morning at 6:30. I think we're going to have to expand these and maybe do a couple of different live things during the morning here over the next couple of months as we get more partners coming on with Peaks to Plains Weather. How are you? Hope you had a great day yesterday. I want to start off with how yesterday was. Most areas were dry yesterday. There were some gusty pockets of wind. Joan took this picture, sent it to me through the Peaks to Plains weather app, the Westside Community Center in Colorado Springs. She's like, what are these? Well, you see, anytime you see those wisps like that, that's Virga. And we did get some gusty wind around here, a couple sprinkles, but most areas missing out on rain yesterday. There were a couple storms kind of on the south end of the Raton Mesa in northern New Mexico that had a little bit more oomph, but it was a pretty quiet day overall across southern Colorado. I think most of us east of the mountains noticed how much warmer it was. It was hot yesterday. We hit 93 in Canyon, Pueblo there as well. Those were the warm spots on this map. The Springs, we got into the mid-80s. 70s and 80s over the mountains and valleys, unless you were up on the passes. You see Wilkerson Pass yesterday at 64. Denver was at 88. But there is a change moving in this morning. There's a weak little front moving in, and that gets us into where we are here as you get set to head out the door. A lot of us, as the front comes in, warmer than this time yesterday by about 5 to 20 degrees. So we're not really going to notice this thing in terms of temperatures. I think that's going to hold all day long here. And we are in the 50s and 60s for many areas east of the mountains this morning. We've got 70 in Walsenburg. Notice the drier air over the hills. Gunnison is at 38. Now on the dew point, notice that as the front comes south over the Palmer Divide into El Paso County, making a run toward the Arkansas River, that the low-level moisture with it lags a little bit. Denver, the dew point is up into the mid-40s, though. And that plays a role in our forecast for later on today, because in the Pikes Peak region, we are going to have a better chance of storms than we did yesterday. In fact, we're probably going to have the strongest storm around Colorado today, should be in the Pikes Peak region. And Kathleen says, good morning. It is breezy where she is. Yes, the front coming in this morning. Cass says, happy Friday. Cass, happy Friday to you. And Debbie says, good to see and hear you. A jab at yesterday, I think, Debbie. Well played. I like it. All right, let's jump into that short-term forecast here as we hit the back part of our day. We are going to see everything driven kind of by the cold front for today. It is quiet out there this morning in terms of cloud cover. We don't have anything happening here across southern Colorado, but that front is dropping in from the north. And like I said, it doesn't do anything to our temperatures today. In fact, I think along the river, especially for eastern areas, we end up a couple degrees warmer than yesterday. Should end up in the low to mid 90s, where yesterday we were at 92 for a lot of areas. Denver will be warm again today. Colorado Springs Springs, we will be warm again today, not too different from yesterday. Do think the mountains get a few degrees warmer than yesterday. More areas on the valley floors getting into the 80s compared to what we had on Thursday. So the temperature's not the big impact from this front, but let me show you what is. As we move through the morning, the moisture at the surface that's over northeastern Colorado behind that front moves into southern Colorado. Now we'll keep the deepest moisture here kind of lagging behind the front a little bit. And then so as we mix up the atmosphere with these warm temps, you see we're in the 30s and 40s here as we hit the afternoon. And so I don't think it's necessarily like a severe weather day, but it is more water at the surface than we had yesterday. And you can see behind the front, we'll be pushing that into the eastern slopes of the Rockies. Now, the mountain areas, dew points in the teens and 20s. Tough to get rain today. So if you're over the San Luis Valley, the upper Arkansas River Valley in Chaffee County, I think west of Canyon City and Fremont County, the Wet Mountain Valley, maybe a sprinkle. Some gusty wind with any storm that gets going today because we'll have quite a bit of virga. But behind that front, there's a little more oomph for some storms today. So watch how this plays out. As we move through the morning, we keep quite a bit of sunshine around. Then we hit the middle part of the day, we get the built-in instability over the mountains and clouds start to develop. So these are those high-based gusty storms that a couple of you, if you live on the hillsides, if you live on the valley floors in the mountains, you may see, and a couple of those develop between 1 and 3 o'clock. But watch what happens in the Pikes Peak region here. We get a storm to develop late in the day, and it rolls off to the east, and it's going to have a little oomph in it, partly because we have some of the best instability in the mid-levels of the atmosphere. We have terrain forcing, and we have that increase in water than yesterday. So between about 2:30 and 4 o'clock, things should get more active in the Pikes Peak region. And the storms may be strong enough to put down a burst of some moderate and maybe even heavy rain. Also some wind gusts, because watch what happens here as the storm moves east away from Pikes Peak toward the evening, it falls apart. Kind of like what we saw earlier in the week when it, looked dark and stormy for some areas. What day was that? Wednesday. And then those storms fell apart as they moved away from the hills. Well, that's going to put out a pretty big outflow boundary. And then that could fire up a storm early in the evening around Pueblo, maybe Crowley County, Walsenburg and Trinidad. Those storms won't be as strong as the storm in the Pikes Peak region. I think after about 8 o'clock, 8:30, we're pretty quiet. So I hope you're ready for that, particularly in El Paso County, because storms may form in Teller County, and then as they use that low-level moisture behind the front, they'll kind of strengthen as they come down the slopes of Pikes Peak. Pretty quiet overnight into the start of Saturday. Temperatures don't change a lot really for anybody on Saturday. Still a toasty day. Watch what happens on Saturday. There is a little bit more water to start off the day over the mountain areas, but we mix that out. We're back into the teens and 20s as we hit the afternoon, and there's still a little bit of water behind that front over the eastern plains. So it's kind of a repeat in this sense. We see clouds build as we head into the early afternoon, and we see some gusty type storms. You see a couple around Walsenburg and Trinidad. A lot of these are still going to have virga, so gusty wind, free air conditioning. Some brief showers is about it. In Colorado Springs, our best chance of storms, I think, is going to be a little bit later than we get on Friday. That's kind of the only difference. I don't think they'll be as strong as well. A little bit more virga around, and you can see Canyon City, Pueblo will have a chance of one late in the day. And again, as they move away from the higher terrain, they fall apart tomorrow evening. So if you just shift everything back a few hours on Saturday, you kind of get the start of your forecast for the weekend. Is that helpful to drill down into some of these details to help you plan? I really hope it is. Kathy, she just found us live. She says, hey, it's the first time I've seen you live. We need the rain. Kathy, you should download the Peaks to Plains weather app if you haven't done so as of yet. We are live on there. I'm live every morning, 6:30. So mornings with Meister. Tell your friends, Kathy. I appreciate it. Julie says, good morning on this breezy and warm morning. It is Friday. She's excited about that. And then Debbie says it's not a jab at yesterday. I did have a piece yesterday when I came back from a video that I didn't hit a button that I needed to hit. So Clint says, happy Friday, Peaks to Plains family. And Susan is checking in from Palmer Lake. She says, good morning. She says it is beautiful And Isaac says, yes, it is very helpful to get the detailed information. So if you haven't yet downloaded the Peaks to Plains weather app, that's where we can take best care of you. And I guess in theory today, it's possible that there could be a severe thunderstorm warning for gusty wind with that storm in El Paso County. It could also produce some hail around a half inch or so in diameter. Not a huge severe weather day, but I can't rule out an outside chance of catching a severe storm. So something to be aware of here. All right, we'll take a short break. We will be back right after this. You're watching Peaks to Plains weather. I've got the extended forecast coming up. Love your yard with a new outdoor space from F&B Landscaping. From a new build to a new project in an existing yard, we listen and give you the yard you want within your budget. Lawns, water features, xeriscaping. We've got the artistic touch and technical know-how to bring the peak of Colorado outdoor living to your home. Reliable, trustworthy. Visit fblandscapes.com to schedule a free consultation today.
Hey, this is John May, General Manager of Petrale Roofing, up on another customer's roof doing a free 21-point inspection. If you'd like us to take a look at your roof, give us a call today, 719-375-8773. We'd be happy to take a look and see the condition of your roof. Petrale Roofing, we're a Diamond certified TAMCO installer, which means we can offer a industry-leading 25-year workmanship warranty to give you peace of mind in the storm. Call Petrale Roofing, 719-375-8773. Schedule your free inspection today.
Emergencies are unpredictable, but you don't have to be unprepared. Peak Alerts sends you targeted emergency alerts in real time for the places that matter to you most, so you know what's happening and what to do next. Know first, act fast. That's the power of Peak Alerts.
At Phil Long Ford Motor City, we've been around for 80 years. That's like 560 in dog years.
To say thank you to our loyal customers, it's employee pricing for all. You pay what we pay. Our way of celebrating Colorado's 150th anniversary and America's 250th birthday.
American value for American values. You pay what we pay. Right, boys?
That's right. Only at the original Phil Long Ford store.
All right, the extended forecast is pretty typical here for the middle part of, let's say, June. And of course, my camera ran out there, crew. Oh man, it's that kind of morning. You know what? I am heading out to the Kids and Clay's shoot for the Ronald McDonald House. I am on the board of the Ronald McDonald House in Southern Colorado. And so I've been trying to do a couple of things this morning, and I'm finding that my brain is in many places. Sorry about that. All right. Let's talk about the weather here across the middle part of the country. There are some ongoing thunderstorms here this morning, a couple pockets of them. This will be the area that is most active across the United States here today. And there is a chance of severe weather because there's a front moving with this. We'll watch for the atmosphere to kind of recharge behind some of these thunderstorms. There's a threat for some wind, some large hail, an isolated tornado threat as well. And you head from Nebraska into northern Kansas, across the central and southern part of Iowa, all the way toward Chicagoland is where the best chance is, but there may be a couple of stronger storms up to the north of there as well. And, you know, the College World Series in Omaha getting ready and just on schedule. They are expecting some severe weather. You can see the front moving into Colorado here this morning. That does impact our weather like we talked about. And we'll keep most of the systems up to the north here as we move through the weekend. Some subtle waves for us to watch for. But as we head into early next week, you see this system developing, and it's a stronger one, and it is going to change our forecast. Our chance of storms here as we move from the weekend into next week is going to depend on when we get some mid-level moisture kind of working here. I think Sunday is a quieter day. On Monday, we may get a couple storms across northeastern Colorado, so southern Colorado and the mountains should still be pretty quiet. But you see this system still off to our west here, and we may get some moisture coming up here as we move into Tuesday. So we'll watch that day by day, but none of these are going to be huge severe weather days or widespread heavy rain days. So just, you know, typical afternoon and evening type chance of storms that we get around here. So through the middle part of the week, I think we're pretty toasty. Eventually, this system starts to get east of the mountains, and if you have paid attention to how I talk about things over the years, When you get upper level systems to get east of the mountains, that opens the door for a cold front to swing south. So while most of the action is up here across the northern Rockies, Yellowstone, up into Idaho, up into the Pacific Northwest, up into Montana, what we get is eventually some cooler air. And that cold front is going to be strong enough, it may blow the low level moisture out of here. You can see that, the cold front getting out into the Central Plains on Friday. So our chances of storms with that may not be great, which isn't usually how it works out with cold fronts this time of year. Eventually, usually it's a day or two after the front moves through, we'll see some low-level moisture return. So by the time we hit early next week, we might have some storms. I think we're quieter tomorrow, especially in the Colorado Springs metro area, than we're going to be today, because we might get a decently strong storm today. They will be later tomorrow. And so where today I'm watching between 2:30 and 4, tomorrow it's more 4:30 to 7, something like that, for a chance of a storm coming off of Pikes Peak. We'll watch that. Sunday's pretty toasty, a little bit cooler, mainly dry Monday and Tuesday. Then we'll get some cooler air with that system next week. You saw how big that one was? So yeah, it'll drop the temps, and then eventually maybe we'll get some thunderstorms when the low-level moisture returns behind it. Pueblo, can't rule out wind picking up with anything the next couple of days. Our rain chances are not great. We'll get into the 90s. There might be a 100-degree reading across the plains on Sunday. Knock it back a little bit early in the week, and then we'll be in the mid to upper 90s again ahead of that cooler air that'll pull us back at least 10 degrees and eventually perhaps bring us a chance of a thunderstorm as the temperatures cool back a little bit. When we get to early next week, I mean, that's a long ways away, right? Like the week after. So I'm taking you not next week, but the week after. Got it? Maybe there's something to watch for depending how much moisture comes back with that. So something to keep an eye on. Woodland Park, chance of a storm today. Outside chance of a storm tomorrow. Maybe again on Monday. Again, it'll depend on where that sort of mid-level moisture is coming up out of the southwest. We'll get cooler as we head toward the late part of next week as well with that upper level system. And then behind that, and again, sometimes it takes a few days to get the low-level moisture from the plains, from Kansas, kind of back toward the Rocky Mountains. We'll see a chance of some thunderstorms. That cool air has been a pretty constant sort of signal here, and with what the pattern is, that's no big surprise as we move into early next week. So we'll keep an eye on that as we move through our weekend. If you guys have any questions, I'm happy to take them right now. That is one of the things that we do on here. If you are new to the program, you're always welcome to come on and join me. We've got these links here, vmix.at, ZMSJK, and vmix.at, 1RJSL1. I encourage you to put that into your phone as a tool for you to use. If there's ever squirrely weather where you are, you can come on with us. And right on cue this morning, we have a friend that has joined us here, and I am going to bring him in now. Good morning, sir. How are you? Thanks for coming on here with me on Peaks to Plains Weather. How's your morning?
Great. This is Hindi here. Remember me?
Yes, I do. You came on with me a couple times in the winter. This is the summer version of you.
Yeah, and I figure since things are kind of calming down a little bit, I thought I'd just check in on a monthly basis.
Nice. Well, I appreciate that. You are always welcome, always fantastic. You have a history in our military. Thank you for your service. What do you have planned for today and the weekend?
Oh, I got my dog.
No, it's okay.
Well, today, I call this my trading hat. And so I tend to wake up in the mornings.
Get excited about being on Peaks to Plains.
Yeah, I guess so. But you know that I'm retired and everything like that. But one of my passions is actually personal finance, and so I get up at 4:30, 5 o'clock, and try to read the market and get going with that. So
you do a little bit of forecasting of your own there.
I do. I just like the dynamics of the market and all, and I actually I volunteer at the church.
Good for you.
Financial Peace University, And so
Oh,
I
that's a
typically
great
do that in
program.
the
My
fall.
wife and I did that earlier in our marriage. And I tell you what, everybody works hard for their money. And to make sure that the money is going where you want it to go and you are spending it on the things that are important to you, it certainly helps partnerships. It helps marriages. Money, I mean, you know this, right? Like money is one of the things that is kind of the classic linchpin for stress and fights within, relationships. And if you can make your purchasing decisions ahead of time and use your money wisely, because income isn't everybody's problem. It's spending, right? If you live within your means, you're good to go. See, I know, you know, I've listened to that.
And it's more of a mindset. It's a mindset. It's a mind shift and everything.
Yeah.
But I typically hold it in the fall for the congregation. And sometimes I open it up to the community of, the families, helping families and
Sure.
kind of deal. So, but
well, that's great. Thanks for donating your time and making a difference. Best to you with the forecast for the market today before you get a couple days off. I appreciate you checking in. You're always welcome. You're always fun to talk to, and you make my day better. So thanks for checking in this morning.
One more thing.
Yeah.
Hey-o!
Hey-o!
It's Friday!
Yes, sir. There we go. That makes Fridays better as well. All righty. Have a good day, buddy. Thanks for checking in. He is so fun. I love Hindi when he comes on. Was a pilot in the military from what I remember, and just a really smart guy and a good dude, and lives up on the Palmer Divide and gives me snow reports, and I love it. That's how easy it is. He used one of these links. He came on here. You are welcome to do that as well. Put it as the contact for Peaks to Plains weather in your phone, because what if you see a wall cloud sometime, or a funnel cloud or something like that, or some large hail moves through your area, and then after the storm's by and it's safe, you can come on and say, hey, crew, this is the real deal. Look at what I got. This is, our weather together. It's neighbors helping neighbors, as Hindi said. And so, write those down, share it with your friends, share Peaks to Plains weather with your friends. Julie says, enjoy your day. Thanks, Matt. I'm going to be out in the sunshine. The Kids and Clay's sporting event, that's one of our big fundraisers for the Ronald McDonald House, usually gets done by about 2:30, which is good because the storms will be starting to go then. Again, Pikes Peak region in, I think, one of the areas that's going to have some of the biggest impacts today. For those of you that have been popping in and out, let's check it out one more time. Behind the cold front coming in this morning, here's how our day is going to play out. We will see quite a bit of sunshine as we move through the morning, and then we hit the afternoon here. We see clouds build over the mountains. We start to turn the wind out of the north this morning. The breezes that we'll have out of the east in the afternoon will push a little bit of water into the hills. And where the front arrives first, where we have a 14,115-foot thunderstorm generating machine late in the day, a couple of storms, these will be the strongest storms of the day, will go over the slopes of Pikes Peak, the Rampart Range, and then roll out east across El Paso County. Some hail around a half-inch in diameter, some moderate to maybe even some brief heavy rain as we get toward the evening and that storm gets away from Pikes Peak across eastern El Paso County. It'll fall apart. Outflow with that could fire up some additional storms this evening. I just don't think they'll be as strong as the storms coming out of El Paso County today. So that's kind of how it looks. Crew, I've got my American Classic coffee in here. I've got the Pikes Peak roast. It's a medium roast with chocolate notes and some apple in there as well. It's so delicious. It starts my day right, keeps me rolling through the day. Check out American Classic coffee and check out all of the partners on Peaks to Plains. We've got them listed on our website. That is peakstoplainsweather.com. Crew, have a great rest of your day, and we will keep you up to date on those storms this afternoon. So keep your location turned on your Peaks to Plains weather app. Have a great Friday. Hello! It is going to be a great day, crew. Make it great. If it's not great, make it great. Sometimes it's just a decision, and maybe you can make somebody else's day great as well. Have a good one.
We don't know what the weather is going to be like around here. I do get really anxious during storms.
That's why they chose HailGuard. When performance leads, confidence follows. Backed by the first and only asphalt shingle system with a hail warranty.
That just gives us more peace of mind.
This is the only asphalt product on the market that has the manufacturer warranty targeting the hail damage, and it gives me a lot of confidence as a contractor.
Engineered for enhanced impact performance. Built to protect homes and reputations. HailGuard shingles, built for hail.